Vlog. So it's Saturday, December 11th. This is not part of Vlogmas. This is part of my 2 normal ones a month. So it's been crazy. I was doing dishes this morning before going to my parents' house. Drenched my shirt, dried now, but went to dry with my blow dryer while putting it away. While trying to get a cord go up into the thing because it has a retractable cord. It hit me and hurt my thumb on my right hand, my dominant hand. I could bend it, but it made it even worse. And to make sure my thumb didn't bend, I had to do this, which took time out of my day. And craziness with my parents, but I will not get into that this time. But I didn't get my mail yesterday, so I got it this morning. Never read it this morning. Just right now, I got something from the East Greenwich Housing Authority, the housing authority in charge of the apartment I live in. And I don't know if I have mentioned this, but back in March, I was sexually assaulted off-property by a guy who lives in my apartment on my floor, who shall not be named. But those of you who actually truly know me may know the history, and that how last October they came in to do inspections. No idea that it was being happening. Instead of them claiming they gave 3 notices, I don't remember getting a single one. So I was asleep in my bed because I didn't have to be up early because I only had my staff coming later. So I wake up to loud noises thinking it was this guy who I call a-hole numero uno / creepy guy. So yeah, we'll refer to him as that instead of his real name. Trying to have his way with me. But it turns out it was only a maintenance man and another guy trying to do inspections. But I didn't know this because instead of them giving out 3 notices way ahead of time, nobody fucking informed me. And knowing I was asleep, I was in my pajamas. And obviously, I had a top on, but when I walked, obviously my chest moved a bit because I am a fully developed 28-year-old woman. So of course I have a developed chest that will move when not secured by let's call it a bustier, please. Be classy about it. And I freaked out. So to the point that my worker when my worker came, I was still freaking out. Like an hour later, I was still freaking out. So he managed to get me to my weekly therapy appointment. Still freaking out there. But actually I was diving on call, and then she came. But after my phone call therapy appointment, we were still not back in person yet. The therapist suggested I call my my psychologist. So I called the office, left a message. He called me back like in 5 minutes, told him what was going on. He said, and this is like at 10:30 in the 10. My first call was at 10:30 in the morning. So this is gonna be like 10:50. I called his office. So at like 10:55, he called back. I was like, okay, can you get to my office for 2:30? That's when I was like, yes. So then my worker came. I told her what was going on and how I have that emergency appointment. He's like, okay, we're calling your mother. By the way, my mom is my legal guardian, even though I'm an adult, because of the autism diagnosis. And because it got when I was 18, even though I'm also legally blind, that didn't come into other fact. But thank you, Mama. I may not always appreciate it. I know we get our tits with each other, but at least unlike some people who I will not name, you don't take advantage of it. You're going to barely use it. You let me manage my own money, and you let me make stupid mistakes with it, and let me learn the lessons on my own and just have my back when it gets really bad. And you only really use it when people take advantage of me. So that's when I'm in the hospital and need medical care. You use it to help me get the medical care you believe I need and deserve. And so when people try to take advantage of me, to have my back with that, which I appreciate. So luckily, actually no, I think he said 3:00 or 3:30. It's been a couple of months. I think it was at 3:30 actually, because I remember my worker, no, yeah, it was like 2:30. Because of the whole situation, my mom left work a little early, walked from where she worked in one of the buildings well connected to Rhode Island Hospital, but the not the main building, but I think it's called the Potter Building there, or one of those buildings in that area, all the way down to the Coral Building, the part that's closer to where the Science Museum is. Walked all that way to meet me there, and my worker, so she could go in with me, given the situation. And then we talked, and I thought, Bob, that I think it might be PTSD, so we tried starting a few things on that, but only started. But then my appointment was over, so me and my worker drove my mom back to work, so she wouldn't have to walk back, because she still had to go back to work for a little bit. And then since then I've been working on that. Then 2 Thursdays ago, not 2 days ago, the Thursday before that, they were doing a bug inspection, and I knew about this one, but they didn't give me time. So I was half dressed, except I didn't have a top on. So even though I had socks, undergarments, a bustier, socks, and jeans on, I didn't have a proper top on, and my bustier was showing. And and not only did they just knock and let themselves, like they didn't, like, I get it, like, if they knocked and give me a chance to get in, okay, fine, but they didn't, and it's not even like they knocked and just let themselves in without giving me a chance. They didn't even fucking knock. They just let themselves in, unannounced, not even a slight ding, ding, ding on the door to let me know. Walked in and saw me without a top on. I luckily have, since the last time, has been sleeping with one of those alarms, like, on the keychain where for women to pull if they get assaulted, because I had one since like April after the incident with that guy, but I only ever kept it on my keychain until the incident back in October. Since then, I kept it in my bedroom when we're not out and about. So I pulled that, and they freak out, and no, one of them was a woman, not much older than me, maybe mid to late 30s. But one of them, the guy, was like old enough to be my dad, maybe old enough to be my dang grandfather. So yeah, so I freaked out at that, had going crazy. Once they left, I ended up having my worker come, and then I went to my therapy appointment, weekly Thursday therapy appointment. I was back in person, and so we did that, and then, like the time before, the therapist said, you should call your psychologist and let him know this happened. And when I said to my worker how she said that, she's like, I agree, call him now. So I called the office. They said, okay, is this him? I was like, it's not vital, but it's quite important. It has to do with something me and him are working on. It's like, okay, I will pass the message. What is your number? Gave her my number, including area code. Within 5-6 minutes, he calls me back, explains what happened. I explained what happened. He's like, thank you, I will make a note of it right now and put it in your file. The kicker is, I had an appointment with him 2 days ago. This is the week before. So I was hoping to work on it 2 days ago. But because more, let's call it nonsense, happened since then, I had to focus on that and couldn't focus on the thing before. And everything's become a vicious cycle. And I swear, if they come in, they say 9 o'clock, they're going to start at 9 o'clock on my floor. But I should be going by then, because I have my day program and pick up between 8:20 and 9. So I should not even be in my apartment by then. Heaven forbid they come before that, before 8:20, before I have to be down there. And not only if they start before then, but if they get to me before then, they better stink and knock and let me into the door. Because if they knock and just let themselves in, or worse, just let themselves in, there'll be HELL to pay. I'll pull that alarm, explain to them what is going on, that they can at least announce themselves and give me a chance to answer, and not just like enter or knock and then enter without giving a moment. And that because and explain what happened in March, and then how that was exactly in October, and then 2 Thursdays ago. And that I'm working with my doctor now on a potential PTSD diagnosis because I am. And that if I do end up with a PTSD diagnosis and it happens again, there will be hate to pay. And that this is unacceptable. And then all the time saying that, having an alarm going off, then I'll stop the alarm, call my doctor, have them leave a message saying that, and to have them say that it's not life or death, but it's pretty urgent, and that involves something we've been working on for quite some time, and hopefully they don't leave after that, and hopefully he calls me back quick and is still there when this happens, and then I'll put him on speakerphone, explain everything, and explain that he's on speakerphone and that the people who are causing it are still there, and hopes that he rats them out. The nonsense I stinking put up with that I shouldn't stinking have to. Honestly. I even told my boyfriend about this just now via Messenger, via Facebook. And I wasn't really going to post this, but he suggested it, and he's right. That's why I'm filming this, and how you're going to be seeing this. Because the world, so many viewers, have the right to know the nonsense and unacceptable nonsense that I put up with on a near daily or at least near weekly basis. Honestly, imagine if you were a young woman, a young woman in her late 20s with autism, legal blindness, and you were assaulted in a nearby park, or probably from a guy who lived in your building back in March. Then October comes and all that stuff happens, and you think you have PTSD, so you're working on that. And then in early December happens and comes, and then something happens again. And you would understand where it comes from, especially if it happens again a couple days later, within less than 2 weeks later. Then you really would be annoyed, and honestly, how would you feel if you were in my position? You wouldn't be too happy either. So excuse me for the rant, excuse the negativity in this one, but like I claimed in my very first video, it's showing one of my first few uploads, that this is showing my life as a young adult with autism and being legally blind, living semi-independently on a place of my own, and the good stuff, bad stuff, triumphs and struggles. And I was honest, I said I'd go for the good stuff, the bad stuff, the triumphs and struggles, the good, bad, and ugly. Unfortunately, this is a struggle/ugly. But I had said in one of my first few vlogs that it will show struggles in the good, bad, and ugly, as well as the good and triumphs. So, unfortunately, a lot of my life is struggles, bad, and ugly. I tried to show you some of the triumphs and good. I tried to show the positive parts, but unfortunately, lately, a lot of it has not been good. But I tried to throw some bit of sparkly, happy, unicorn, sugar-coated stuff in there when I can, because I don't want my blog to be all negative. But honestly, I said I'd show you all parts of my life, and unfortunately, this is one of the negative parts. But I said the negative parts would be in there too, but I want to show all parts, including the not so great parts. And unfortunately, I'm going to fill out right now, including this. But I am okay as of right now. And luckily, I have a decent support system. I have my boyfriend. I have several friends in my out of my apartment and in my apartment. Some even on my floor. I have a good one-on-one staff that works with me on Thursdays and Fridays. I'm in a day program with lots of good friends. The head of the day program is a good person. Is a good ally, like a good person for me, and so are the other 3 staff. And like my worker is like an extra mom to me. I have a friend's mom who lives in my building on my floor who's like a mom to me. The head of my day program's like a mom to me. The 2 oldest staff are mom to me. I would say all 3 staff, but one is like literally my age, like a couple months younger than me, so basically my age. So obviously not a mom figure to me, but maybe like a sister figure. So there's that. And then I even have people on my floor, like some more seasoned residents who are like grandmother figures to me. So luckily I have good natural supports, or semi-natural supports. But the fact that I had to put up with the nonsense that I have is unacceptable, and you cannot deny that fact. But if anybody has any advice for me, or even just positive words for me, even if you want to pray for me, or positive vibes or thoughts for me, depending, I don't know, if like pray for me, unless you're not religious, and positive thoughts and vibes will suffice. If you have any positive things to say or post, maybe some memes or whatever, post them in comments. That will help. If you have any advice that I might be able to use, please put that in the comments. And remember, and of course, remember, always be nice in the comments. Always be nice to each other and me in the comments. As always, always remember to be yourself, be unique, be happy, and be kind. And if you like this content, maybe give it a little thumbs up. Maybe share with somebody you think might be interested in. Maybe subscribe and ring that little notification bell if you haven't already. You want to be notified when I upload. Because I know only a few of my people are subscribed, and I think only one gets the notifications as soon as I'm uploading. That person being my boyfriend. Thank you to him. So if you do those things, even just one of them, it would be very much appreciated. And I'll see you in the next one.